Today on episode 685 of The Grid, it is Lightroom Day. Well, I'm going to be showing some Lightroom techniques and show you some quick tips and tricks and things to make your Lightroom life even easier. Plus, I'll be taking your questions. If you have any questions or anything you want to know about Lightroom, I'll give it a shot. So where's Mr. Kuna? Of course, he's over at the rocket launch. They don't let them pick up their cameras to the following day after the launch as a courtesy to the press. In other words, the man is sticking it to him. Anyway, he won't be here for the grid. He won't be even able to tune in, but don't worry. We've got lots of Lightroom tips and fun stuff for you today. Now, I have no guest. It's just me alone because of the gallivantation, but that will not stop it from being a fine day on the grid. And it all starts in just 12.4 seconds. Let's go!
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Grid. It's 1 o'clock-ish on the East Coast. And it's just me. Well, it's not just me. Allison's here all the way from the UK. Allison's here in our studio audience. And like I said, Mr. Kuna. So after the rocket launch, you know, you'd think the rocket launched at like Artemis II, launched at like, I don't know, 6:36 last night, something like that. So you'd think NASA would go, a couple hours later, you can go back and get your cameras because, you know, they position their cameras, you know, in a danger zone. You wouldn't put humans there, but cameras, what the heck? Anyway, but you'd think, well, maybe a couple hours after the launch, they'd say, okay, everything's clear. You can go get your cameras. Nope. They make them wait till the following day, and they'll say, hey, we're going to get your cameras at like, you know, 1 o'clock. We're going to take a bus out there. You can pick up all your gear. So you have to get a hotel room. You have to spend the night there. He's been there since Tuesday. So he's been there because they make you set it up a day early, and then they won't let you take it down. That's your government at work right there. Good stuff. Anyway, so no Kuna today, but that's okay. It's Lightroom Day. We're going to be doing a bunch of Lightroom stuff. Dobson's on the moderation, so anything goes. And we got some giveaways. Let's talk about the giveaways. What are you giving away? This little bad boy right here, the Platypod Grip. So the Grip is a wonderful way to hold your iPhone for photography. It's got a little clamp on the bottom, or not a little clamp, a foot that attaches to like Arca Swiss plates. And it is wonderful. I mean, I have one of these. I use it myself. It's really, really great. And you can also get this little round basic pad for it so it'll hold itself. Or you can stick it, you see a lot of pictures here of it stuck on a Platypod. But for like $7, you can buy this disc that'll hold it. And that's what I use, honestly. I'm not going to take a big Platypod and then put a little tiny thing on it. I use the disc. The disc is pretty cool. We're going to give that away. We're going to give away this fine book written by a fine guy. It's called How Do I Do That in Lightroom? And it's a perfect gift for like Lightroom Day, right? So what this is, I wrote this book for people who already kind of know how to use Lightroom Classic. Like you already kind of know your way around, but you're working and you think, wait a minute, I know there's a way to do this thing I want to do in Lightroom, but I cannot remember what it is. You just turn to that page and it tells you like that one thing. Like each page tells you one single thing how to do it. That's the whole book, and it's very popular. So that is How to Do That in Lightroom. Someone's going to win that today. We're going to win Mr. Kuna's night photography book, which is burning up the shelves. It's doing great. Make sure you get your copy right now, the photography book. Someone's going to win it, but if you don't win it, you can go buy it at your favorite bookstore, Barnes & Noble or Amazon.com. And then lastly, my latest book. This is my latest book. This is my thick book. It is, I'm going to tell you how many pages it is. 512 pages. It is the I Want to Learn Everything About Lightroom book. This is the one. This is the one that starts you from scratch. Like, hey, I just bought Lightroom and I want to get really good at it. And so this is the one. It's the most complete thing I've ever written on Lightroom. Has all the latest stuff in it. It's really a pain in the butt to write. But at the end of the day, it's really helpful. All right. We're giving away that stuff. Also, pardon me. That was a sneeze, in case you're wondering. We're we're going to give away a copy of On One No Noise AI, which is what Mr. Kuna and I both use to remove noise. It is great. It's way faster than Lightroom's, and it has other features that Lightroom's doesn't. So if you have Lightroom, you think, I already have noise reduction. Oh, you want this instead. All right, so that's what we're giving away today here on episode 685. It's hard to believe it's episode 685, but it is. All right, how do you enter to win any of those things? All you have to do is leave a comment or a question in the chat, no matter where you're at. We monitor all the different places, the YouTube and Facebook and whatever. Now, when you leave your comment, tell us what you want to win so we have an idea of what to send you, so we don't send you something random, right? So just tell us, I want to win the grip, I want to win Erik's book, I want to win the How Do I book, I want Scott's big Lightroom book, I want the No Noise AI. Whatever it is you want, we'll hook you up. All right, so what's going on today? Oh, first off, I finally finished my Adobe Express page for my trip to Vietnam. So I'm going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to post the link so you can see where to go, because I actually have real text and stories and more pictures than I showed last week. So can you see my screen? You guys have my screen? Yeah, there we go. All right. So I'll just take you through it real briefly, because you guys, some of you have already seen it that saw last week, but it's the whole story now is all there, including the story of Soy Sauce Village that you see right there, and Incense Factory, which you see right there, and going out in the lake at Ha Long Bay. Well, I guess you'll really be in the bay. Look at that 360 picture. Isn't that cool? Thank you, Brodo. And look in that boat. It's not a tuna boat. It's a Kuna boat. So there's Kuna in there. Some more pictures of Ha Long Bay with boats, so you can see how giant these things are called towers. They call them towers. So I call them like big rocks. And this is a very famous Instagram spot, but it's always packed full of 1 million people unless you get there at dawn like we did. And here's this village, the little house that we went to. Very nice folks let us shoot there. And this is another shot from Ha Long Bay, as is this one. And more from the Incense Factory. Right? I'm kind of going through these quickly. If you want to watch the videos, like the behind-the-scenes videos and all that stuff, this is our fixer and greatest guy. Great fixer, great guide. He was just wonderful. All right, and then there's the scariest street in Hanoi. Look how close you are to a giant diesel train. Now, this is not the end of the train. That's the end of the train. Look how close. You're like 6 inches from it as it comes through. And after it passes, then we get in the street and take pictures. Look how close. That's how close it is. It's a wild scene, folks. And then there's our group picture. Yay! Hey! And then we hired a model. And this is inside the Temple of Literature. And so look, see this picture? After I took this, I went on the side here. And Ken was one of our participants, and a very cool guy, very good photographer, was over there shooting through the slats. And so there's what it looks like shooting through the slats. Just a whole different view. This is how we roll in a 32-passenger van. Let's go. Who's in the back? Gallivanting Kuna, right there. Gallivantation. And then we spent overnight on a ship, and this is the beautiful ship we were in. Gorgeous, great food, really nice ship, and it cruised around Ha Long Bay. And this is a tour of my bathroom. No, it's my whole cabin. It's not just my bathroom. Here's a toilet. I don't know why that's what it chose as the thing. All right, here's a little bit of Ha Long Bay. This is what it looks like at 5:20 in the morning. And then the light, of course, changes during the day. And look at the size of this one, right? Look at that boat. That's a fishing boat. And that's a big rock. That's a big one. All right. And so then we got some more shots in Ha Long Bay, including a ceremonial outfit there. We took these on the back of the ship. The model came with us from Hanoi to Ha Long Bay. And there's us at the back of the boat. That's the crew. There's the Kuna. Kuna. All right, and back on dry land, here we are. Some different pictures. And so look at this. Here is the the soy sauce village, but look at the behind the scenes photo. This is what it really looks like. It's like in the middle of the neighborhood. And they're making soy sauce, but not the black soy sauce that you see here in the States. It's more of a red. And then there's Kuna up on the second floor. So that's where this shot was taken from. You basically climb up these very precarious stairs with no railing whatsoever. And you're like, run. But if you're brave enough to go up there, that's the shooting spot. Here's a couple more behind the scenes. Remember that shot of the guy sitting on the floor in front of this? This is why you have to go there at dawn, because if you go there in the day, you have all these people and Popeyes. So, by the way, I only saw like 5 American restaurants, which is very, very rare. There's no place in the world you will go and not find a KFC. There's a KFC everywhere in the world. But besides KFC, we saw 7-Eleven, Circle K, Starbucks, and McDonald's, and that Popeyes. All right, back to our behind the scenes. This is Laura Anderson. She won Best Image of the Week with an incredible shot, just incredible. Here's our hotel. We stayed in a 5-star hotel right there in Hanoi, and this is the restaurant where we'd have our breakfast, which their breakfast was insane, incredible. This is where we had our opening night dinner. So Rick Salmon told us about this place called 4-Piece Pizza. And this is from where we were eating. You could shoot down right on the kitchen. So I took that shot with my iPhone. Beautiful Kuna man. Some of our crew out having fun. And then a few more from Fish Basket. Oh, I got some of these shots in there twice, don't I? Yeah, I got to fix that. I'm pretty sure that shot and this shot are both in there. So I got to go fix that. Here's behind the scenes. So that's it. And this is their house. They invited us into their house. Wonderful, very nice, very welcoming folks. And one for the road. That's it. And this was all taken with a Canon R6 II and one lens, the 24 to 240, and then my iPhone. That's it. I never changed lenses. I didn't even take a camera bag. No camera bag went out with me at all. So that's it, and we wouldn't have done any of it without Rick Salmon. Rick Salmon was the one that turned us on to Vietnam, helped us find the travel agent, helped us find the greatest fixer. It was wonderful. Let me show you the address if you want to go read the story and everything. This is the address. Just take a picture with your phone of that screen, and that's it. That's the address to go. I know it's a bad address, but it wouldn't let me put in a custom address for some reason. It's like, oh, you can't use a custom address on this. I'm like, I don't know. But take a picture of that, and that's what I'll put it on my Facebook page later today as well, all that stuff. Okay, you guys ready for some Lightroom tips? Let's go ahead and hit the first one. All right, so I'm going to show some techniques, some tips, just all kinds of different stuff, because it's Lightroom Day. Also, if you have questions about Lightroom, any questions at all, pop them in the chat. Dobson's on the chat. He's very chatty. All right. Let's start here. I'm going to start with this image, which has a variety of problems. All right, let's go down what the problems are. First, I'm hoping you're seeing that the white balance is way off. It's blue. It's just blue. It's just, I don't know what I have my camera set to, but whatever it wasn't the right thing. All right, she's got some really shiny hot spots. She could use, it's not skin smoothing really, but the gradations where one color goes to the next color of her skin, they're just kind of clunky, which is very common. Has nothing to do with her, it's just how things are. The background is very dark and her hair is pretty dark. So we're gonna work on all this stuff. Let's start with the color. Why do we fix the color first? The reason we fix the white balance first is if you fix the white balance later, it actually changes your exposure. Your exposure gets brighter, usually. The way I'm going to fix it, it's going to get brighter. But if you have the exposure looking good, and then later you change the white balance and it changes your exposure, now you have to do double duty and go back and fix your exposure. Why not just do the white balance first? Here's another reason. Number two is, it's hard to concentrate on things like exposure when the color is so far off. So if you get the color right, then it's fixed. Now, what happens if your color isn't right? Your color's wrong. So just get it fixed up at the beginning. It's so easy. Here's what I do. I use this eyedropper tool right here. This tool that looks like an eyedropper right there, that's what I use. That's my tool. And all you have to do is click it on something that's supposed to be kind of a neutral color. By neutral, a gray would be ideal, but in the absence of a light gray, you could do a light beige, a light tan, a light whatever. So I'm going to go to the background and just click this tool on the background once, and just click it somewhere and we'll see how it does. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Just that one click. Here, look side by side. Do you now see how blue it was? It was crazy blue, right? It's so unflattering because, I mean, that's what they do to make people look dead, right? In the movies, they put blue makeup on them, like all right. But I think her skin is a little too warm, and I do this to most portraits. So if you ever look at like high-end portraits, they generally desaturate the skin a little bit, and it gives it a more professional look. Like the regular average skin tone that your camera takes in many cases looks a little too warm. So what I would do is this. I would probably go and just lower the overall vibrance just a little bit. Now, in this case, if her dress is black, her hair is about black. So if I lower the overall color in the whole image, all it's really going to do is affect her skin. But if it was a colorful image, I would have to select her skin, just her skin, and desaturate that. That's what I do most of the time. Let me show you how I would do that just in case. I would, in this case, let me go back out. I would go to the masking tool, and you see down here, it's recognized her, right? It says person 1. But here's a little something that people don't realize. Or some people don't realize. If you click on that, then it expands and shows you, do you want just her skin on her face, body skin, eyebrows, eye sclera, the iris and pupil, lips, teeth, hair, whatever. We're going to choose body skin and facial skin. Yes, you can choose more than one thing. So you can put multiple check boxes. The red area shows you what it is going to select. So you know what it's going to select. Then you go over here and click on Create Mask. So anything I do now will only affect her facial skin and her body skin. Basically everything that you see that is red. How do I make the red go away? Any slider you touch will make the red go away. So what I would do is I would go here to the saturation slider, and I would drag it a little to the left. Ooh, like right there. All right, watch the difference that just that made. Let me see if I can just turn off this mask. Watch. See how it just takes out that extraneous kind of yellow? And I could even maybe go a little bit more to maybe right there. And I'm not affecting her lipstick or anything else, but that's pretty good actually. Let's take a look. Yeah, see the difference? Not so much on her body skin and neck, but her face for sure. Okay, so now that we've got that done, and that is good. All right, I want to give you my first little tip, mini tip. My mini tip is this. A lot of people will look when they're masking in Lightroom, and they'll go down here and they're looking for the vibrance slider. Because vibrance is kind of like, what would you say, smart saturation. The saturation slider, basically, makes everything more colorful. The vibrant slider is smart. Here's what the vibrant slider does. The vibrant slider takes colors that are dull and it increases them. If you already have colors that are kind of saturated already, it hardly moves them at all. So dull colors get better. Colors that are already vibrant hardly move at all, but it has a special mathematical algorithm to avoid skin tones. So if you increase it, it doesn't make people look sunburned. It's really an incredibly smart thing. So why is it missing in the masking slide? Why did they take it out here? Believe it or not, they didn't. The saturation slider is doing two things. If you drag it to the left like I did, it literally desaturates the skin. It desaturates, or whatever you have selected. So to the left is desaturated. Ready? To the right, is vibrance. It's automatically set to vibrance. It's automatically set to the better one. So if you're trying to reduce color, it uses saturation. If you want to increase color, it automatically uses vibrance, even though it doesn't say it there. That's some smart stuff, Adobe. Well done. Now, why didn't they just put 2 sliders? I have no idea, but let's not discuss that right now. All right, John is asking, does this work for Camera Raw? Yes, it does. So really, you see this is the develop module in Camera Raw. You see it says develop there on screen. You know what would have made our lives a whole lot easier? If it just said Camera Raw. Because it's the same thing, the same sliders, the same math, written by the same people. Written by the same guy. The guy who wrote Camera Raw, wrote the develop module. It's all the same, but they call them 2 different names. Why? Because that's what Adobe does best. All right, let's say, how do you decide, here we go. How do you decide, this is from Craig, how do you decide when to use Lightroom's denoise, On1, or Topaz when you want to remove noise? Craig, this is very easy. I don't use any of the other ones. I just use On1, No Noise AI. It's an easy decision. I don't use Lightrooms. I've tried it. It's just so slow. I mean, it's ridiculously slow. It does a good job, just slow, and you have no options. It's just, it works or it doesn't really. Where with On1 No Noise, I got all kinds of options, and I can add sharpening. It's got its own sharpening module. It's just so much better and ridiculously faster. 4 seconds or 3 seconds instead of like 30 seconds or 50 seconds or a minute. I've had people tell me that on their machine, if they have a slower machine, that it's taken up to 30 minutes. What the heck? Anyway, that's how I decide. I don't use the other ones. I don't use Topaz to remove noise. I don't use Lightroom's denoise. I only use On1's No Noise AI. By the way, I run a podcast for On1, and so they are a sponsor. So I'm just disclaiming that. But I do a thing called One-on-One. I did it Tuesday. I do it once a month. It's called One-on-One. Get it? One-on-One. I usually have guests on, and we feature a photographer, and I start off by giving you some tips and all. But you can catch it over on our YouTube channel or On1's channel. But it's called One-on-One with Scott Kelby. It's every month. And the next one, I'll be actually having one of the guys from On1 in. Dylan Kotaki is going to be here in the studio. The set's right over there. But anyway, that's it. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to pick up on the same tutorial because we just got started on this one. And I'm just going to give you tips along the way. There's a great comment when we get back. Stick around.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
Hello, my name is John Dukes, and I want to invite you to watch my KelbyOne class, Blue Hour Mastery, how to create dynamic cityscape photography. You're going to create photos that are going to impress everyone you show. People are going to get that wow effect. We're going to learn how to scout the location, what Blue Hour is, all the different levels of twilight that you could shoot your photo in, camera settings. We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about how to take that photo from being a snapshot to a gorgeous cityscape image that you're going to want to hang up on your wall. So come join me at KelbyOne.com. We're going to have a lot of fun.
One, two, three, go!
Hey everybody, Kirk Nelson here from Pixel Pro Photography, and I am down here again at KelbyOne Studios in Oldsmar, Florida. This is Photoshop Secrets for Speed and Style. Deadlines are looming, and you have to work smart and fast. I'm going to show you some of the best Photoshop features to optimize your workflow so you can make Photoshop work better for you, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. We're talking about custom smart objects. We're talking about actions, custom brushes, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. Only here at KelbyOne.com.
All righty, welcome back. Okay, we got a couple of comments here. Diane, I love this one. Diane says, since when does Adobe want to simplify names? Crazy making. I know. So there's two versions of Lightroom, right? There's the cloud version, right? And then there's Classic. And they have panels that are the exact same panels that do the exact same thing, and they have different names. Just pick one set of names and go with it. I don't care if you change the ones in Lightroom Classic to match the ones in the other one. And they call the panel geometry, right? It's called transform because that's what you're doing, but they called it geometry. I don't know. James says you need to use the Hall & Oates song "One-on-One" for the theme of the podcast. The one-on-one, I want to play that game tonight. Yeah, not one of my favorite Hall & Oates. I like Hall & Oates. I got to see Hall & Oates when they did their Beyond the Red Ledge tour at the Lakeland Civic Center in Lakeland, Florida, and they were just phenomenal. I just loved them. And what was weird was, you know how Hall & Oates, their career goes, we're hot, we're not, we're hot, we're not. But that album was incredible. They were scheduled to be in the big arena in Lakeland, which holds like 10,000 people. They didn't sell enough seats, and they moved them to the 2,500 seat theater, which is acoustically amazing. And the arena is awful. It's like a big echo chamber, but it was just a fantastic night. Love Hall & Oates. Don't like really bad songs. And I'm not going to license it. So I think we do have a snappy little royalty-free song that plays at the beginning. Let's see. Craig says, at what point do you put it into on one? Because when the photo comes back, it's not raw, I guess is what you're saying. I put it at the very beginning. I mean, I get rid of the noise right up front. They usually recommend to get rid of noise right up front. And so, yeah, I don't care that it comes back as not a raw photo. It's fine. All right, so back to our gig that we're working on. All right, I'm going to give you a tip that I do to portraits all the time. Is I go to the masking. Now, it's different the second time you use the masking because you have to go to create mask, and now it says select people. I know. It doesn't just show you the little circle with the person at the bottom anymore. Now you have to go choose select people. Then it shows you the circle. And then I do this to almost every photo because I go and choose hair. Just their hair. And I hit create mask. And then I go just to the shadow slider and I open up the hair like that. Now, in this case, I opened it up a lot, right? So I don't know. I'm looking at my monitor on screen. Let me make sure my brightness is pretty good. Oh, my brightness was down a little low. Okay, so I'll bring it up something like that. And that's probably a bit much, honestly. But I'll open up and get, because you lose a lot of detail in the hair. Now, got a couple of other issues. I'm not crazy about the color overall. The desaturated skin is good, but I think overall the color is a bit lame. So what I might do on the background, let's do two things. I want to separate her more from the background. Now when I lit this, I lit it, you can see if you look in her eyes, you can see that I have one light directly in front of her and another light below, so it's kind of a beauty type setup. Or what would be called a clamshell, if you're familiar with that. So it's a clamshell type of lighting setup, but not enough light from that front light hit behind her. So we're going to use a Lightroom trick to add light behind her. We're going to go a new mask, and we're going to choose this gradient right here, the radial gradient. So it's a round gradient, and I'm going to choose it, and I'm going to draw where I wish I'd put a light in the back. So somewhere in there, I'm going to brighten it up like that. Now, it's right over her face. So here's what we need to do. I need to remove her from that big circle of light. So I'll go to subtract and choose select subject. That's her. So we hit select subject, and look, it put the light behind her. Check it out. See, the light's behind her now. Now that I've got that, I can go one step further. I can go create a new mask and select the background. So that's everything but her. And now I can just go down here to the white balance sliders, right? temperature and tint. And I could go in here and maybe warm up that background a little bit, maybe make it kind of a little brownish, something like that. Maybe put a little magenta in there as well, something like that. So now I have a light behind her, and she is somewhat separated from the background, and you've got this kind of brownish look. We're getting close. We're getting close, but we've still got these hot spots right there and under both her eyes. I don't think the chin one's too bad, but there, and you can't really see, but her nose has a pretty bad one too. So let's do this. Let's click on the remove tool, and this is one of the rare times that I will use the this healing brush. The best tool for removing stuff today is this one. For every day I need to remove a power line or a pole or something stupid in my photo, when it comes to like retouching people's face, you got to use this one. So I'm going to click on this one. We'll increase the feather a little bit and click on that. Actually, I'll leave the feather down. Let's try this. Let's go over her hot spot on her forehead. Now, it will invariably pick the wrong place to sample from to fix it. It's just the way it works. It's kind of crappy, but we can. So when I let go, watch what happens. It samples from her like shoulder. Look what it did. Thanks. Nice job, Adobe. So you have to click in here and go, that was stupid. Pick something, a nice clear area of skin. Now look up there now. There's a nice clear area of skin, and really, you're pretty much done right there, right? Now, I have the opacity set low. Here's what it would look like where it's completely gone. If I lower the opacity to 0, it's completely back. I try to find that sweet spot in the middle, something like, yeah, somewhere in there. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to just move out of here. So see that? How much better that is? So let's go back to that mask, and I'll hide it for a second. Let's hide, oh, that wasn't a mask. That was an eraser. All right. So let's do the two areas under her eye. Let's get rid of this one. Like the way it put part of her lip up here. That's some good technology. Click on it and drag it to where somebody might actually do it. Look how much better her eye on the right looks now. Let me move this out of the way. All right, and I'll show you before and after here. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Get rid of that right in there. Try not to remove. All right, and then when we go back, look at those hot spots are gone, right? And then there's the one on her nose. Let's get that. And where did it sample from? Her lips. And what does that do? Puts part of her lip up there. Come on, Adobe. Let's move this down here. Maybe there. All right. Look at, we got all that done right there. But we've got one more step with her skin. Remember I mentioned there's kind of a rough gradation in her skin? Let's go to masking. Choose select people, right? People. Let's go and click on her and then choose facial skin and body skin. This is going to be the easiest thing you do all day. All we're going to do is this. Scroll way down to the bottom, and we're going to go to texture, and we're going to drag it a little bit to the left. And look at it, smooth the gradation. Now I'm going to zoom in tight so you can see. Watch the difference. So there is regular, and then watch when I move it to the left. It just smooths those gradations out nicely. So I'm at like minus 30. Look at the difference. So look, the hot spots are gone. Here, let me just see if I can move this a bit. That hot spot's much better. These hot spots, it doesn't look sweaty and shiny. And that's the thing I wanted to not have, right? Let's back off a little. And I think my spotlight in the background is too hot. I think it's too obvious. And let's see, that was mask number 2, I think. Let's see if that's correct. Nope, that was her hair. Must be this one. Yep, I think that's, let's click on it because I think it's too much. So let's go back up to the exposure and, oh yeah, I was way up there. Yeah, just a little bit of light back there. You're just trying to, and actually I would have made that circle bigger. It's yeah, more like that. Something like that. And I think that's probably your final before and after right there, with some little tips along the way. But yeah, not too hard to do. Hey, let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at a couple more things. But if you have any questions, any more Lightroom comments, questions, whatever, you just want to vent, drop it in the chat, and be sure to say hi to Dobson. He's on the chat.
Hey guys, Frank Dorhoff here. Welcome in our studio in the Netherlands and welcome to a new class on KelbyOne. Do you ever wonder, like, how can we get more creative with our photography? Are you a little bit afraid when you look at those websites and you can see all those props and they are pretty expensive and you don't know what to buy? Why not start with the stuff that you already have? Why not get some, let's say, emergency blankets, or maybe get a torch? If the light is too bright or too large, use a little bit of piece of cardboard. You will find out that in this class, you will look at your photography equipment in a totally different way. There are no more excuses. I don't have expensive gear. I don't have expensive backdrops. After this class, you will make the best of even an emergency blanket. Join me on this new class on KelbyOne to create great images with cheap materials that you can find in and around your house. And you probably already have a load of them that I'm going to show you in this class. See you online.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
Hey, we're back. We got some shout outs here. Liesel's watching from Venice. Hi, Liesel. Liesel's one of our KelbyOne instructors. Susan's here. Happy Grid Day from sunny Columbus. Hi, Susan. James is watching from Phoenix. Claudia is watching from Toronto. We got Marty here from Buffalo. John's here from Hexham in the UK. Let me ask Allison, is that a real place? Hexham? It's real? Because I know a lot of times they make up names for stuff in Britain. So that's okay. Just kidding. Mark's here from Vegas. Jeff's here from a sunny Nottingham. Is that a real place? Okay, Nottingham. And Herb's here. He says, aloha, Scott, from chilly Maui. You know, Herb always sends me a calendar at the end of this. So it's very nice of you. Thank you, Herb. At the end of the year. No sense in sending it mid-year, right? Okay, let's go. Let's look at another image here. Here we go. So this image has a number of issues, but first off is it's like hazy. It's got like a haze over it. So you might be thinking, I want to use that filter called D-Haze. Well, that would be a good call. That's where I would go. I'm going to hit auto just to see. Yeah, the haze is still there. So I'm going to show you a couple little things about D-Haze. First off is you can go down here to right here. There it is. I'm looking down here. Why am I looking here? I don't know. D-Haze. So if you drag it to the right, D-Haze actually does a great job. It has side effects, but I'm going to show you. Watch as I drag it to the right. Look at it cut through that haze. Now, what are the side effects? There are two side effects that happen from using D-Haze. Number one is it'll often turn part of your image blue, especially starting in the corners. If you have any vignetting, it's going to accentuate it and make the whole image get a blue cast. So the first thing I do if I use it, it's not too bad here, but generally it's pretty bad. So I would go, after I run D-Haze, I do two things. Number one, I drag the white balance a little towards yellow so it gets rid of the blue. All right, so that's number one. But the other thing, and this is a big one, is D-Haze is actually a form of contrast. So if you apply a ton of it, like I had to get to 100 here to get rid of the haze in this photo, I would go to contrast and then lower the amount of contrast like that so it starts to look right. So you've got rid of the haze without over accentuating the contrast. So it's two steps. You apply the D-Haze, then you go add a little yellow in, which will contrast the blue, get rid of the blue, and then lower the contrast so it doesn't look too contrasty. You want the haze gone, you're not trying to add extra contrast, but if you want to add extra contrast, I might have time for a tip for you with that. Now, overall, I would probably lower the vibrance a little, but also, do you notice it's a little crooked, and you know how we hate that. Go down to transform, and you're just simply going to click the auto button. That's normally all I have to do is click on auto. Look at that. See how much it was off? Look. Just that little bit. Now, what about these people up here? Will it get rid of those people? It might. Let's find out. Go to the eraser tool, and when you do that, there's a new set of panels called distraction removal. Go to people, just click on it, and it'll see if it finds people it finds distracting. It found nobody. Well done. In that case, you're on your own. So you're going to take this eraser tool, and you're going to go, look, these are people. It found nobody. Lame. All right. Let's see if this works. Hit remove. There's a couple other people there, but those are the ones that are bothering me. Oh, I didn't do a very good job of selecting them, though, did I? Oh, that's not bad, but it missed. Wait, let's see. Did it miss? Yeah, there's some people back in the background. Let's try getting rid of them. See if it's, because one of two things could happen. It removes the railing or it removes the people. Oh, it did good. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's okay. And there's some people here. We could try them. I don't know. Let's see how that goes. Hit remove. Wait a few seconds. You have three variations. That first variation is not good. So over in the panel, you have three variations you can try. Let's do another one. That's better. I think number 2. All right. And so we were able to get rid of the extraneous people all inside of Lightroom, which is, yeah, that's not bad, right? All right. Will says, oh, we got to read this. Will says, Scott, you are incredible. You make editing much more enjoyable. Thank you, Will. That's very kind. Anyone starts any sentence with Scott, you are incredible, you know it's going to get read. I'm kidding. Dan says, I went from PC to Mac to a MacBook Air. Thanks, Scott and Eric. Any tips on or tutorials on moving the catalog? So Dan, may I call you Dan? Dan, I have a class on KelbyOne called the top 20 Lightroom questions. These are the questions that people will write in and go, I need to move my thing from one computer to another, from one hard drive to another, that's all you're doing, moving it from one hard drive to another hard drive. How do I keep everything in place? It's actually pretty easy, Dan. All you're going to do is copy your whole Lightroom folder, because you'll have a folder called Lightroom and your catalog is in it, or multiple catalogs be in there. Just move that whole one to your new computer. But there's one more thing. You could go watch my class and I'll show you how to do it. But here's the problem. if your hard drive on your PC and the hard drive on your new MacBook Air, which, by the way, I just moved to a MacBook Air last week. This is it right here. All right. Thank you, Dobson. Dobson went. Anyway, they have to have the same name, which they won't, right? Your Macintosh default name is going to be Macintosh HD, but you can change it to anything you want. All you have to do is in Lightroom, you have to tell it what the new name is, because all of your images will show up as broken, Dan. You're going to take them from your PC, you move them and copy them over onto your Mac, and it's going to have a question mark beside every folder. You just have to go and tell it either name it the same name it was on your PC, and that way it'll find it, or easier is to just say, this is the new name. Those folders are now on this drive. That's all it needs. Just tell me where they're at. Lightroom doesn't know where they're at anymore. They're looking for them at the old location on your PC. You just got to tell them where you moved it. Now, if you go watch my class, Top 20 Lightroom Questions Answered, you don't have to be a KelbyOne member. You can just buy the class. If you just go, I want to watch one class, you can just go buy the class, all right? Cheryl wants to know if I'll show the before and after of that last photo. Absolutely. There you go. Well, I got to look on my screen. I'm looking on the screen in the studio, which our screen in the studio is funky. Yeah, there you go. So all I did was got rid of it's really about getting rid of the haze and the people. And still a little contrasty, I think, maybe. All right, Anne's asking, can you expand the selection? So remember I went over those areas, right? And I said, oh, I missed an area. Can you expand them? Actually, yes, you can, like you do in Photoshop. But Anne, instead of expanding, what you do is this. Let me go back to this. So let's say we want to get rid of this other boat. So I would go to the eraser tool and I would like paint over this part of the boat or whatever. Let's just say I missed a piece. You can go over here and it's already in add mode, which means I could just add a little more in if I missed a part like that. If I missed an area, then you hit remove. So that it's not expanding. You would actually just, and let's see what a good job it did. I don't like the first one. I don't like the second one. Oh, the opacity's low. Well, that's why. It might help. I think the opacity was probably low on the other ones up here that didn't do as well. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. The other boat's gone. Yeah, that did a nice job. Yeah, this new remove tool in Lightroom is actually quite good. So the other one was pretty bad, but it's quite good. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Let's move on to something else. I'm going to show you a picture. It's not good. Hang on. This is a terrible photograph. This is literally a snapshot. So don't hold it against me because it's crap. All right. But it's great for showing how to fix this problem. Look at the buildings. They are leaning in and leaning back. And so I want to show you how to fix those, because there is a tool that you might want to learn about called Guided. So you'll go to the Transform panel and you click on Guided. What does that mean? That means I'm going to tell Lightroom what's crooked and Lightroom will fix it. So for example, you get to do 2 vertical lines and then 2 horizontal lines. Sorry, 2 vertical, 2 horizontal. So I will take one of the vertical lines and I'll just go right up the side of this building. Maybe, on this side over here. I'm just going to click once and then I'm going to drag and go all the way up to the top. All right. Now, nothing happens when you do that because it doesn't really know until you put the second one in how crooked things are. I'll go to this other building over here and I'll drag on it. So I'm dragging up. Now, when I release the mouse, or in this case, my trackpad, when I release it, it applies the transform based on the 2 things that you just added. Ready? Go. See how it straightened them out? Remember they were leaning back and going to fall over? And now they're kind of straight. Now, I have found that when I do this, sometimes it looks a little funky. like it kind of, it makes it elongated. So if it needs to be changed, go to the aspect slider over here, and you can make it wider or make it taller, depending on what it did. I think it needs to go maybe a little wider to look more realistic. So I dragged it to the left. Now, I still have two, I could go to guided, and I still have two sliders two of those things I can pull out. So if I go, I want this to be straight, I could go, all right, this is straight here. I think that looks straight. And you can see it kind of fixed it. And then you could say, I want this to be straight on the top of this building. That should be straight, something like that. And then it fixed it. Now, you do have these corners you need to crop away. So go to the crop tool. And again, you could go to Photoshop and just have Photoshop kind of fix that, but we'll do this. I'm gonna go grab the top corner, just bring it over this way, bring this corner over, whoops, corner. Don't you like hearing that during tutorial, like hearing whoops? Something like this. There we go. Now, we got this little disaster down in the corner. This might make a trip to Photoshop, but I'm going to try the remove tool, just see. This might make me go to Photoshop. Let's see what it does with this. Yeah, there's nothing there to remove. So I would have to go to Photoshop to fix this. All right, so I would press the Command E on Mac, you'd press Control E on Windows, and sure. There it is. And now I can just select that area, use whatever tool you like. I'm going to use the lasso tool, and then go to Fill, right? Fill. And you're in this fill box, just make sure the default is still set to content aware. Content aware fill won't fill it with white. It won't fill it with black. It'll look what's around it and try to make a reasonable choice. That wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. But if you don't like that and you want something better, well, first off, my selection's a bit big. Let's get my selection. I went way too big with this. This is just a crappy photo. Let's just make it a little bigger than the area and see if content aware fill does better without selecting so much stuff. Because sometimes it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's a little better. It's not perfect, but it is a little better. And then to get that back to Lightroom, you just do two things. Save and close. And when you go back to Lightroom, there it is, waiting there for you. So that's just way better than where we started. And you've got the little fix there. See, there's the one before we went to Photoshop, and there's the one after Photoshop. So, all right, let's take another look. Let's see. Michael says, my Lightroom catalog previews, the LR data file, is extremely big. Can I safely delete this without losing all the edits? No, no, Michael. Now, Michael, it may be that you're making a lot of smart previews. That will make your file a lot bigger. So what you could do is select a whole bunch of photos, especially ones you haven't looked at in a long time. You could select a bunch and say remove smart previews. That'll shrink it down there. Tina's asking, can you check the constrain box? You can, but I want to show you what happens when you do that. You have to have a lot of extraneous space, because if you click constrain, I bet it'll cut off the street. It doesn't. Constrain works great a lot of the time until you have these big triangles in the corner. Let's take a look. Let's go. Let's back up. So let's go all the way back to where we had the big corners. I'm hitting undo like a million times. Oh, wait, let's go the other way. Where'd it go? Wow, that took a bad turn there. Let me find it. Here it is. Let's reset it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Reset. All right, there it is. This is the bad one, right? So let's do it again real quick. Guided up this side, down this side or up this side, and we'll say that's enough. Watch what happens when I hit constrain crop. Watch. Yep, it lost the street. So constrain works good in a lot of cases, but not there. It's just, unfortunately, yeah, look at everybody asking, why not constrain crop? Happy asks, Rose asks, Tina asks. That's why. That's it right there. Now, could you kind of do your own manual one better? Yeah, you probably could, right? That's what we did kind of. So let's reset that. Let's do the guided real quick again, and you could kind of finagle this a little bit yourself, but I still wouldn't do constrain crop. You'd have to go turn off the lock over here, so the little lock icon keeps everything, in the same aspect ratio. You could go in here, then go in here, then go down here, and yeah, you could get to it that way, but clicking that button is all going to go bad. OGG660 says, what happens to my images stored in the Adobe Cloud if I decide to revert back to hard drive storage? Well, what I would do if you're going to revert to hard drive storage, local storage it's called, I would pull all your images down from the cloud. So you can do that. Now, in the cloud version of Lightroom, you can store them in the cloud or you can store them locally. But if anything happens to that hard drive locally, you're kind of hosed. It is nice having a cloud backup. So I wouldn't want to remove them from the cloud. I would want to copy them to another hard drive. Are all these shortcuts in the Lightroom book? Dude, are you kidding me? It's 512 pages. All of this stuff is in there and more. Yeah, I do all this stuff, lighting the background, all that stuff that you saw me do, hotspots, it's all in there. Yeah. All right. Kendra wants to know, how many pictures is too many for a Lightroom catalog? I have 66,000. Is that way too many? Oh, Kendra. Kendra. There are people with millions and millions and millions in their catalog. So back in the day, Kendra, way back when Lightroom first started, when you got to about 30,000 images, it started to visibly slow down. So a few years later, into maybe you're at Lightroom 4 or Lightroom 5, 7 years, 8 years ago, Adobe restructured it to where you could have almost an unlimited amount. We don't know what that number is because people have 6-7 million in their catalogs and it runs at full speed. So Kendra, you got lots of room. You can keep adding images till the cows come home. I have catalogs with hundreds of thousands of images. Don't worry about it. Just go, go, go. All right, let's move on to something else. I wanted to show you I want to show you this. Give me a second to reset this. I don't have the file. Where's the file? Yeah, so I have not fully moved everything off of my old laptop to this one. I'm going to go see if I have this picture. If not, I've got more tips coming. So let's take a short break. Oh yeah, we're actually out of time. What? But that's okay. I got a couple more tips and then we'll go. So stick around right after the break. I'm going to throw a couple more tips at you to wrap things up. Going to throw some tips. We're tipping on Lightroom Day.
Hey, I'm Jeff Leinbach. I just finished recording my latest class, a practical guide to picking the right lens. I'm here with a bunch of lenses and we have a great class for you. We talk about different varieties of lenses, different types of lenses, some lens features that you may not have heard of. We even talk about specific lenses for specific uses in photography. For example, if you're a landscape photographer, what are the best lenses to use? If you are an architectural photographer, what are the lenses that I want to make sure that I'm looking at? Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this class. I also have a handful of quick tips that might help you take care of your gear and make your gear function better as we go along. So I encourage you to join me at KelbyOne.com.
Hello, this is Nikon Ambassador Hilmar Smith, and I'm at the KelbyOne Studios filming my new class. This is going to be a continuation of the why seamless many ways to use it. So today we're going to be using paint, little bows to decorate your why seamless. We're going to be playing and creating like origami and paper boats, paper airplanes. We are creating like a little notebook page. We are wrinkling, we're using so many fun things to level up and use your why seamless in a more creative way. So if you want to level up your creativity, come and join me at KelbyOne.com.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
Hey, we are back, and we're going to have some winners in the. We're going to have some winners here in just a second. Larry's asking, is the Slim system still current? The current version of the Slim system is in this book, and I also did a brand new class, Larry. If you're a KelbyOne member, well, let me just tell you. Thank you for opening this can of worms, Larry. So, just a few months ago, I did, in the history of my career, is the most complete Lightroom system that I've ever done. It's a 7-day course. It takes you a week to get through it, but it's only a little over an hour per day. So it's a 7-day course. Myself and Larry Becker, we lead you through the course. And when you are done with these 7 days, now again, it's about an hour to an hour and a half per day. And it's everything. There's an entire course on just importing. There's organizing. There's the 7-point system. There's the Slim. Actually, the Slim system has been, this is it right here, the Complete Lightroom Learning System, right? There's a new thing for it. It's called the Leo system. So it replaces the Slim system. My latest 7-point system is there, masking, all this other stuff, expanding Lightroom's power, printing. It's 7 classes. If you watch those 7 classes, and this is included with a regular KelbyOne membership, if you watch those 7 classes, you'll be in the top 0.5% of Lightroom knowledge. If you've ever been like, and here's why I did it. We talk to people all the time, and they go, I've been using Lightroom for 7 years, and we're like, are you pretty good at it? I'm okay. My library's kind of a mess. Like, they've been using it for years, but they still don't feel proficient. You're 7 days away. I'm not kidding. 7 days. You can't believe the emails and the comments and stuff that we get about this learning system. It is the most complete thing I've ever done in like training from beginning to end, and you can do it in 1 week, 7 days, and I lead you through it. So Larry and I, we come on each one and we're talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and then I take you through it. It's easy. It's 1 week. Can you imagine how many years you've spent in Lightroom? And in 1 week, it could change everything. Anyway, go join KelbyOne. It's included in your thing. You'll just go right to it, the Lightroom Learning. That's it right there, the Complete Learning System track. It's right there, and it's all new, and it's all the latest stuff. It's all the goodies are in there. And that's it, right there, the Complete Lightroom Learning System. That's it. 7 classes, 7 days. And by the way, you don't have to watch all 7 days, you know. You could go Monday, Tuesday, skip Wednesday, then pick it back up Thursday, Friday, skip Saturday, come back Sunday, you know. But here's the thing I tell you not to do. Don't watch more than 1 day at a time. Don't watch 2 classes on one day. Just watch one. Just one. Sherry's asking, can you rename an image in Lightroom when you're exporting it? Absolutely, Sherry. Here's what you do. Let's go and export this one. Go to, over here to export. Waiting for the export dialog to appear. as I keep clicking on it. Maybe it doesn't want to export that one. Does it want to export this one? I don't know what's going on with my export. Let me quit Lightroom and restart it. That's what you do when things... Oh, no, here it is. It showed up. If you go in here in the export window, Sherry, there's a thing called file naming. Just rename it to whatever you want the name to be. Just type in your name here. And it gives you a what you call it? Oh, it doesn't like apostrophes apparently. Oh no, it did. It finally put it in. It shows you an example of what it's going to look like, and that's it. Just turn on renaming, and you're good to go. All right. Okay. Hey, if you want more Lightroom tips, I have a website for you to go to. We put together this site. It's called the Lightroom Hub, and it's just a whole bunch of Lightroom tips, and that's the address right there, kel.by/LRtips. So go there. But, you know, if you want all this stuff, just go to KelbyOne.com and join. You will dig it. You will super dig it. All righty. So Sharon's asking, where on a Mac would I move the Lightroom folder to? I use a PC at home, but I have a MacBook Air that I use for travel, and I don't know where to place the Lightroom folder. Right now, it finds it on my home network. Yeah, Sharon, you don't want it on your home network. It'll be very slow. So your Lightroom, I put mine in my pictures folder. That's the default, by the way, on a Mac. When you create your catalog, it first puts it in your pictures folder on your Mac. So that's where I would put it. I would put it in my pictures folder in a folder called Lightroom, which is that's where it should put it. We're way over time. So if you want extra tips, remember, go to kel.by/LRtips. So could you bring up that screen again real quick? There we go. And there was a comment from Stu there. Where'd it go? It went away. It was there just a second ago. Stu says, if there's one thing KelbyOne has, it's classes. Yeah, we got a class on everything. Anything you ever wanted to learn about Lightroom, including the 20 things, the most asked questions, you can go watch that too. If you join KelbyOne, you can watch it all. We have we pruned some classes. We had over 1,000, but we pruned some of the older ones. Now we're at about 900. But we got every kind of class you can think of on lighting, Lightroom, Photoshop, all this stuff. Look at that new one from John Dukes you guys saw, creating a dramatic cityscapes, right? All right. That's it, kids. Let's talk about who won. The Platypod handle is going to Jeremy. The travel photography book is going to Dave G. from Montana. The night photography book is going to Try Kayak. The Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic book is going to Raymond Larson. And the On1 No Noise AI is going to Bob Bryant. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. How do you get it? How do you get it? Here's what you do. You email us at gridprize@KelbyOne. gridprize@KelbyOne.com. Claim it by tomorrow. We'll verify that you're actually the person that won. We'll get your address. Actually, send your address when you do it, and we'll ship your stuff out to you. Now, guess who's in the comments now? Erik Kuna, who says Lightroom is amazing. It is. It's getting better all the time. Well, guys, that is it. Thanks to our studio audience, Allison, who did a great job over there of staying completely silent the entire time. Thanks to Dobson over there, being the Dobson, and all of our crew here. And we will see you guys next Wednesday around 1-ish on the East Coast, where Mr. Kuna should be back again from gallivantation. Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Lightroom Day.